Hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
Everyone, welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the WrestleGamer, Double B Bully Bujo, and this is going to be the Impact Wrestling review for the week of March 13th, 2014. Let me introduce the panel for this week's Impact Wrestling review. First off, he is our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/Lance Moss TV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
All I can say is, Billy, you're crazy. And, well, thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, he just learned the new term of it's hard to kiss the lips at night that chew your ass out all day long. He's the Bay Area MVP known as Will. Will, how you doing?
This is for Lance and for scarred my eyes.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WGS-TV, the leader of Team Gooch himself, Mick37. Mick, how you doing?
Very good. Beard's coming in.
Well, motivate, validate, participate. The acronym MVP used in the opening segment to describe his tenure as the new director of operations in TNA, which led to him being interrupted by Magnus and, of course, his new associate, Abyss. I don't know how to describe the new look of Abyss. Mick, I know you sent a message to me via Facebook last night. How did you exactly describe the new look of Abyss?
He found the Undertaker's burnt coat in the garbage. It had mustard all over it.
Yeah, it definitely did. But, Will, what was your take on this new appearance, especially with that new mask of Abyss?
Did somebody say Crayola crayons to a paintbrush? Because I think Magnus just gave him the British hook up because those colors are ridiculous. More ridiculous than Lance's colors on this wall.
This might be a violent edition of the Impact Wrestling review, guys. Well, Samoa Joe came out and he said, well, next week's Magnus will defend the title against Samoa Joe, but he also said tonight Samoa Joe would take on Abyss, which led to that match. Now, the matchup in itself, I want to say, is okay, but when Abyss brought out Janice, Lance, did you expect Eric Young to kind of intercept him and cause the match to get thrown out like that?
Well, at the time I didn't, because I thought that whole Eric Young thing was gone, but it actually makes sense. So I did not expect him to, but it makes sense that he did.
They would also make a ruling later in the show that next week, during the title match between Samoa Joe and Magnus, Eric Young will be chained to Abyss. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go from here. Now, a rumored knockout, a former knockout champion, was going to be returning tonight, and when we get to that point in the show, we'll reveal who it is. Let's just say there were some mixed responses to her return. So, like I said, when we get to that, we will definitely talk about it. Let's talk about this new knockout, Brittany. Well, I don't know too much about Brittany. What do you know about her? Do you know anything?
Not a damn thing. Sorry.
Well, too bad we don't have our Diva/Knockouts correspondent James on right now. He would probably know everything there is to know about Brittany. But in her debut match, go ahead.
She looks good in blue.
Yeah, the reason why blue is my favorite color. But she would be taking on Gail Kim for her debut match, and a miscue by Lei'd Tapa led to Brittany rolling up Gail Kim for the win, and then, well, a dissolving of sorts of the relationship, Mick, between Lei'd Tapa and Gail Kim. Did you see that coming?
No, but Lei'd Tapa killed her.
Pretty much. So would that technically make Lei'd Tapa a face now as a knockout?
I don't know how the crowd took it really, so it could go either way.
Well, backstage, everyone's waiting to hear the response of Bully Ray. Bully Ray just arrived at the Impact Zone at that particular time and gets assaulted by all the members from Team Dixie and Ethan Carter III, which would kind of set up a series of segments throughout the night where Bully Ray would get his revenge on each individual responsible for that attack. But up next, one of the things that the Bay Area MVP was making reference to earlier, the Impact Wrestling debut of the new X Division champions, Sonata and Tigre Uno, taking on the tag team champions, the Bromans. Now, if we had the opportunity to do a lockdown review, one of the things I would have said was I was very, very impressed with both Sonata and Tigre Uno. Even though they were in different matches at lockdown, I was very impressed with what these two guys had to offer. And let's just say Sonata and Tigre Uno, a very high-flying, formidable tag team. But one of the things that you were talking about, Will, is it wasn't just the matchup that you were very impressed with, but the video package they aired before the match showing Sonata talking with one of the greats of all time, the Great Muta.
Yes, and it was very influential of what Muta said to Sonata. You know, he says, this is wrestling in America. This is a lot different than Japanese pro wrestling, you know. I mean, who would have thought that Sonata would be the X Division champion? You know, it's pretty good that not only he's an X Division champion, it will show companies all around the world that things can happen on this positive venue. But back to what Muta said. You gotta keep focused, be strong, represent our company well. Now that he has a belt with TNA, not only is he gonna do 2 times the work, but he has to show why he is the X Division champion, that the Aries win wasn't a fluke, and that he could adapt to TNA wrestling. But I do like him as champion. He has a lot of skills. We've seen him on the pay-per-view. Overall, he's going to do well.
Mick, I know you had the very first opportunity to see Sonata and Tigre Uno on Impact Wrestling. What were your initial reactions to their debut?
Yay, I love Japanese wrestling.
Well, that pretty much sums it up. Well, not just that, but Mexican wrestling, too, for Tigre Uno, who was, again, very impressive in that match. So, but up next, apparently, Dixie, apparently we're going to have a tribute by EC3 and Rockstar Spud to Dixie Carter no longer being in charge, which thankfully got interrupted by MVP because the crowd was just shitting all over that segment. And you know what? I don't blame them. But MVP comes out, makes the announcement that Rockstar Spud no longer the chief of staff, but he's still a wrestler in TNA, and you would have to face Willow later in the evening. And boy, oh boy, we got some. Let's just say some. Well, you'll find out what we have to say when we get to it. I really don't know how to quite put Willow's Impact Wrestling debut. And also, we finally get the confirmation from MVP during this promo that Bobby Lashley, is officially signed to the roster of TNA. I'm pretty sure the Shining Star, Rick Starr, is very excited about that news. And next week he will take on EC3 on Impact Wrestling. And as they were exiting, EC3 was talking to JB, Jeremy Borash, about that, and Bully Ray comes out of nowhere and extracts his revenge for Ethan Carter III's participation in the beatdown they had earlier in the evening. But let's go up to the street fight. Now, the reason why I want to get to the street fight between Samuel Shaw and Mr. Anderson, Lance, can you explain to me what the hell was that mannequin?
Well, I guess Samuel Shaw wanted to one-up Al Snow, and he took Al Snow's head and went What does everybody want? Torso!
Yeah, pretty much. I think they're taking the gimmick of Samuel Shaw as the stalker gimmick and kind of making it go south. Yes, thank you.
Off the deep end.
Yeah, exactly. The finish of the match came. Anderson was kind of, kissed the mannequin, which kind of caused Samuel Shaw to kind of get distracted and ended up one mic check later. Mr. Anderson wins the street fight. I do like how the crowd that night is still, this was a very into it crowd. We don't normally see that on an Impact, but this crowd was definitely into it. And of course they continue with the chant of the creepy bastard throughout the duration of this match. Now, for those of you who have been wanting to know who is the Knockout, the former Knockouts champion that has returned to TNA, it is Angelina Love. Angelina Love back in TNA calls out Velvet Sky, says she wants to reunite the beautiful people. Will, let me ask you this. Would you like to see the beautiful people back together in TNA?
As much as Velvet Sky said that she moved forward, she stated that she was a knockout champ, she did everything by herself. I'm probably not gonna lie to you, I probably would want to see them together one more time. I mean, look what they accomplished together. They accomplished many things. And Angelina being a good wrestler herself as much as Velvet Sky, I would like to see a reunion. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Well, Velvet Sky did say in the promo that she would need a little bit more time to make a decision for Angelina Love's offer to reunite the beautiful people. Well, I will say this, though. I thought it was good to see her again. She's hot, regardless. So it was definitely good to see her back. But let's see. Up next here on Impact Wrestling, guys and gals, we had the Impact Wrestling debut of Willow. And they played it up not as a different character per se on commentary, but an alter persona of sorts of Jeff Hardy. That's how they kind of played it on commentary. I'm not quite sure if that's a good direction for the Willow character. Just immediately acknowledging that, yeah, this is Jeff Hardy, but it's his alter persona, Willow. They've done this before, if you guys think about it. When Dustin Rhodes was in TNA and they debuted the character of Black Rain, they didn't play it off as a brand new persona and a completely different person in TNA. They played it off as the dark alter persona of Dustin Rhodes. That's how they played it. I don't know I really don't know if this is the best way to play off the Willow character. But then again, we're just in the initial stages of seeing it in TNA. Mick, what were your thoughts on the Impact Wrestling debut of Willow?
That was by far the most hilarious debut I've ever seen in my damn life.
Well, what were your reactions?
I did a little prayer for Rockstar Spud after the Umbrella incident, because that wasn't no beatdown. That was getting on little Rockstar Spud's ass. That was no beatdown. I'm sorry.
And Lance, well, what were your reactions to Willow?
Well, I knew who he was, like the actual character, from watching Jeff Hardy's YouTube channel, but I know some people out there are saying, well, Jeff Hardy done relapsed. And about the match, well, let's face it, Rockstar Spud got turned into mashed potatoes.
Exactly, yeah. So I think we're not going to see Rockstar Spud for a couple of weeks in TNA, if not a few months after the beatdown he took, not only from the umbrella, but from the chair to the knee. What they did with Willow and Rockstar Spud. So Rockstar probably gone for probably at least a couple of months. We never know. And I Up next, so Bully Ray basically wanted to at first come out to explain his actions from lockdown, but he said Bobby Roode and Team Dixie decided to make it physical. Bully Ray calls out Bobby Roode for a fight, and Roode comes out, and Roode ends up getting wood in the form of a power bomb through a table. Well, what do you think about this this immediate change in direction of Bully Ray's gimmick?
I'm short on words on this one because I'm still overexcited from last night, though. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to bring myself to, like, Lance's level just a little bit. But I thought it was very decent. Sorry. I'm trying to get normal as it goes along. I thought this Impact was very, very fucking good.
Yep,
it was actually better than Raw. I broke the wall. Hi, Colt Cabana.
Well, on that note, guys and gals, it's time to go to everyone's overall scores and their picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling this week. This Impact, the start of the MVP era, the motivate, validate, participate logo, the acronym MVP used from his own name. I gotta say, very smart for TNA to come up with that. I don't know if it was TNA or if MVP himself came up with that, but that's a very good acronym, very good usage of his name. Samoa Joe and Abyss, I thought it was decent. But if I want to go best match of the night, I definitely gotta go. I want to give an honorable mention to Sonata and Tigre Uno taking on the Bromance. It was indeed, a great performance by Sonata and Tigre Uno. Can't see anything about him, bad about him, I should say. But I gotta go. I gotta go with the Willow Rockstar Spud match. It was a unique way to see Willow. And poor Rockstar Spud just got the business end of the umbrella, and you never want to meet on the business end of an umbrella, no matter if it's in your crotch or what. Worse, you know what? I can't really say there was a worse segment because Dixie Carter was nowhere to be seen on this week's Impact Wrestling, so there is no worse segment of Impact Wrestling for me this week. So, with that being said, my score is going to be a 3.75 out of 5. I will give, for the worst segment, a very honorable mention, or dishonorable mention, as it were, to the mannequin of Samuel Shaw. That's all I'm going to say. Lance, let's go to you first and find out your overall score and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling.
Overall, I give it a 3.5. Best match, I gotta go with the street fight. It was a really well wrestled match. Was it weapons heavy? No, but it was a really well wrestled match. Best segment, I'll go with the MVP introducing the whole motivate, validate, participate thing. Worst segment, Rockstar Spud humping a picture of Dixie Carter, basically. And really wasn't a worst match.
That's an image I'll never be able to get out of my head, even with therapy and medication. Thank you, Lance. I thought it was gone, but now it's back.
Well, he was.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to forget it. Will, over to you with your overall scores and your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling.
Alright, I usually don't do this often, but I'm going to actually give Impact a 4. I really am. The best match was the Sonata Tigre Uno versus the Bromance. Worst match, I really can't say there was any type of worst match because I thought everything was pretty much up to code. The best segment, Bully Ray getting revenge on what was left of Team Dixie. Worst segment, Abyss. Who is your fashion designer? A 6-year-old? Jesus Christ. Looks like Cradle of Cradle to the paintbrush came together. Even that mask didn't look too good. And honorable mention again to the Great Muta influencing Seiji Sonata, adapting to American wrestling compared to the Wrestle One promotion. Great Muta should get a mention here on WGS-TV. He's one of the legends. He's a great. He motivated Sonata to what he is today, and that's why he's the exhibition champion. And as far as Eric Young and Samoa Joe goes, that other segment you forgot to mention, Billy, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a feud between each other. That'd be a great one to look at.
Possible. It's very possible from that promo. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the leader of Team Gooch, Mick37, with his overall score and his picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling.
I'm going to start with my overall score, and I'm actually going to give it a 4. I don't know if it's because I haven't watched it in a while or if it was actually just really good. But my worst segment, I'd have to agree with MVP, because whoever that fashion designer is, somebody needs to go find him and fire him. And the best segment, well, actually, it's more of a move. That flying umbrella whip was hilarious. That was my favorite part of the night. That made me go to sleep happy.
Well, what we want to know now from you guys out there and the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Impact Wrestling this week. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of Impact Wrestling? We definitely want to hear from you guys out there. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, a little bit of guitar work, and whatever else pops into my head.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bay Area MVP known as Will is over on the hood. Will, where can fans check you out?
Of course, me and my tag team partner, James and the Big Easy, we moved again to iBlog. We're at www.iblog.tv/user/Bay Area MVP, which is the hood. If you want James, since he's not here, same website, but change it to Fatboy504. We do wrestling debates, NFL debates, anything sports, definitely wrestling, video games, game shows, and whatever open discussions we decide to have on our shows.
Fans, don't forget to like the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, the Bay Area MVP known as Will, and the leader of Team Gooch himself, Mick37, I'm the WrestleGamer, Double D Bully Boudreaux, saying thank you very much for watching, and I will forever stay away from umbrellas now.